What's going on, Fresh Takers? I am back with another review, and today we are reviewing Twister. So, I am going to make a disclaimer. I am not going to spoil every movie that I review because I want to get these out in good enough time so that way, if you guys are relying on my reviews on whether to see something or not, I'm not ruining the movie unless it is a huge movie that I just got to get everything out. So, I am going to do this spoiler free and make sure that I get this review out to you guys as soon as possible. So let's get into it. And yes, before you ask, I do have a cowboy hat. Do not ask why or how I got it, but because they wear cowboy hats in the movie, I figured I'd wear one for this review, and it is uncomfortable, I will be honest. So I may have to get me a new cowboy hat. So let's get into it. All right, so I went and saw Twisters last night, and I gotta be honest with y'all, it was all right. It was all right. Like it wasn't terrible, but to me it just wasn't great. I just feel like it could have been better. Now let me say this. Let me get the good out there first. I think the special effects are really cool. The tornadoes look amazing. Some of them really look kind of real, to be honest with you. So I will say that they did a good job there with making it look pretty real. Another good thing was I felt like they didn't have you waiting long, for the tornadoes and twisters to come into play. So I do appreciate that. Like it wasn't something where, you had to wait 10 minutes in to get a tornado. Like it happened pretty quick in the movie. So I do appreciate that. I think the climax, like not the last scene, but the climax of the movie, I thought was pretty good. It had some good scenes in it. It kind of kept your attention. I would say kind of. It did keep my attention. I just felt like the rest of the movie could have been way better. Now, let me say the biggest issue I had with this movie was the main character. And I don't know if it was more of the script or the actress. I don't know. I don't know the young lady. I don't think I've ever seen her anything else. And I'm not saying she's terrible. What I'm saying is you don't feel connected with her and her story really in the movie. Like they try to explain things about her, but it just really doesn't connect. And I don't know if it's lack of time given for it or the way they try to execute it, but you just are kind of left wondering, why am I not really connecting with her? And you hate that because if you're watching a movie, you want to connect with basically the main characters in the story. That's the whole purpose of a movie, is to connect. And it doesn't always have to be the main character, but the movie and the way that it goes, they want you to connect with the main character. And I just really didn't connect, and I can't put my finger on if it was the delivery of the performance, if it was the script, or just the execution. It could be all three. I have no idea, but I just really wasn't enthused with her character. I appreciated her motive, but they didn't put enough behind it for me to really care, for me to really root for her. So you guys will probably feel the same. If you don't, hey, kudos to you. They probably, are targeting you as an audience. But for me, I felt like it didn't really do enough for me to connect with her. Like in Quiet Place. Okay, you guys just saw that I reviewed Quiet Place. Lupita's character and the guy who plays Eddie from Stranger Things, I feel bad I'm forgetting his name, but I was so rooting for them the entire movie that I was like, okay, I don't want anything bad to happen. I want them to survive. I want them to make it through, because they didn't even have to say much, but you really connected with their characters. Here, it's like a disconnect, and I really hate that, because I was excited for this movie. I really like the first Twister. I haven't seen it in a long time. I saw it as a kid, and my parents really loved the movie. My family loved Twister, and I saw it as a kid, and I thought it was really cool. I mean, I'm from Indiana, so we have our fair share of tornadoes here as well. So I just don't really feel like there was a connection. I do like some of the supporting cast characters. Like they didn't have to do a lot, but I really liked a lot of the supporting cast because they were kind of fun. But that was really it as far as characters. Like I didn't feel like, oh my god, I absolutely love this person. Like if they were to bring the movie, if they were to make a third, basically, if they made a sequel to this one specifically, I mean, am I gonna be like, oh my god, I love them? No. And that sucks because I'm a person that likes to connect with the people I'm watching. So it is what it is. But as far as the rest of the movie, it wasn't terrible. Would I watch it again? Sure, because there was one tornado. I am so happy it happened. I'm not ruining anything for you guys, I promise. But I got a fire tornado, and that was really cool. The fact that I got a fire tornado was amazing. Because it's a movie about twisters and tornadoes. If you keep seeing the same thing over and over again, you're kind of like, oh, okay. But the fact that we got a different type of tornado was really awesome. So I do like that part of the movie as well. There were some points in the movie that I could have felt were maybe changed and would have made more sense. Like for instance, and this is not, like I said, this is not spoiling anything. So, one of the plots in the movie is towards the middle of the movie, somewhat semi-early to middle point of the movie. Basically, they're trying to get the best, like 3D scan and mapping of these tornadoes so they can predict where it's moving, so that way the towns in Oklahoma and the place, the locations they're in, can be warned ahead of time, like, hey, you guys need to evacuate or get out, basically. So the equipment they use, I don't understand how they couldn't have rigged the equipment to just be attached to the trucks. That way, if they need to move in a hurry, they're not having to get out of the truck, pull the equipment. Basically it was like a huge 3D scan that they put on the ground, and then they would press on the legs, and it would kind of like bolt into the ground. And I just felt like that was kind of stupid to me. Like, if I did it, I would have rigged it to the truck to where it raises up and down. So that way, if they pull up to a tornado, all they gotta do is raise it in like the bed of the truck, and then it can scan that way. That way, if they do need to move, they're not having to get in and out of the truck, and then that kind of makes sure that they're not putting their lives in jeopardy. But I guess for the sake of the movie, to make it more suspenseful, they did it that way. But for me, I thought it was kind of stupid. But that's just me. So I would say, honestly, this was an all right movie. It wasn't terrible. I didn't leave feeling, mad or upset that it wasn't great, because I really didn't know what to expect. I knew they had pretty much said that this wasn't a remake, and it wasn't kind of like a like a continued story of the first one. The first movie and the second movie, those characters don't correlate. So they're kind of, it's not a remake, but they're separate. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't come in with super high expectations. I just knew that I really enjoyed the first Twister. So I was like, hey, I'm definitely going to go see this and review it. But it could have been better in my opinion. That's just me. Could have been way better, but hey, it is what it is. It wasn't terrible. Would I still recommend to go see it? Yeah, I mean, if you really enjoyed the first movie, I think you're not going to be super disappointed, but don't expect to be wowed. You can be wowed by the visual effects of it, but if you're looking for an overall, like a total overall movie, I don't really get that from this. And even some of the reviews I have kind of studied on have said the same thing I've said, where the characters really aren't fleshed out. Like, they don't really give a whole lot. Like, they just kind of explain the main character's passion for wanting to do what she does in the movie just by word of mouth. They don't really show examples or anything like that, to make you really connect with, like, okay, I understand why she's really wanting to do this. It's just kind of explained, and then you got to roll with it. So if you enjoyed the first movie, I would say go see it, but don't expect to be wowed. This is just not that type of movie, and it is what it is. So if I had to give it a rating, y'all know I like to do it this way. If I had to give it, I'm going to rate it out of 10 tornadoes. I'm going to give it like a 6.9. 6.9 out of 10. It was all right. It wasn't terrible, but it could have been better. That's really just all I can give you guys. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hey, let me talk to y'all real quick. Let me get in here. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel. I get a lot of people that say, hey, I saw your review, I loved it, I think you're doing great, but y'all ain't subscribed. I need y'all to please subscribe to the channel, because that hurts my feelings. I do this because I love it, and I do it because I want you guys to get someone who they're, give you guys my opinion on these movies, because I know I love movies. But I really need y'all to go in and subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you thought of the movie that I reviewed. That would be nice. I don't really get a whole lot of comments, so please comment. I would love to interact with y'all. And I do appreciate the people that constantly support and make sure that, I'm getting some views and all those things. I really appreciate that. But, also share it. Don't be afraid to share it on your social medias. Get me out there. I would love that. But I really appreciate the people that, are kind of my diehards, and I love that, and I really appreciate you guys. But the ones that have seen it, please subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate that. So I will be reviewing pretty soon. Deadpool and Wolverine are coming out really soon. I cannot wait. I think that comes out on the 26th or 27th, somewhere in that range. I am definitely going to go see that. And I'm letting you know now, that is going to be a full spoiler, because there's no way, with as much as I've heard that's gonna be in that potentially, that I'm just gonna give a spoiler free. So what I may do is, I may do like a split in the video where the first part is gonna be spoiler free, and then that second part, I am doing a deep dive. So that may be how I do that, but that's gonna be the next one I review. So I'm really excited for that one. And I really appreciate, once again, you guys sitting here with me and listening to me ramble. I hope you guys like the cowboy hat. And I'm going to put some really cool music behind this as well. The song they played in the movie, I really love that song from the Blues Brothers 2000 movie. So I'm going to put that version playing behind me. So if you never heard that song, that's what it is. Because even though the movie was all right, I love the fact they put that song in there. So I'm definitely going to play that. But thank you guys for watching. Love you guys as always. And I will see you guys later. Take care.